All right, guys. So welcome to budgeting class. Today we're going to talk about how to do budgeting. You're going to learn the concept of mastering your budget today. My name is Coach Keyon Corniffe, also known as Mr. Finance. I'm a financial educator and a business coach. And what I do is that I provide financial education with financial planning with financial services. And the reason why I do this and why I make sure that every family have access to this type of information is because I wish someone would have done it for my family. And I'm just being the change that I wish that was there and available for mine. So, guys, I want you to like to do is to like and share this because I'm going to break down a concept, a formula, a budgeting formula that's been around for quite some time. It's called the 50, 30, 20 budgeting formula. It's a very simple formula that requires you to learn two things. Now, when you're going to do your budget, two things you must know. Number one, you must know what is your income. What is your monthly income? Okay? What is the amount of your monthly income? You must know that amount. And then number two, right? Number two, you must know, well, what is your total amount of bills? Right? What is your total monthly expenses or what is the cost of living? So that could be a total of your rent, utilities, spending budget, life insurance, your insurance, any debt that you're paying, anything like that. So let's use an example. You're gonna need pretty much a calculator, right? That's what you're gonna really need, or you can use your phone. And by these two things, once you know these two things, it helps you to run the formula. I'm gonna break this down in a simple way. I'm going to use an example that someone that's earning, let's say, $5,000 every month, right? Now, your income could be different, but for this example, let's say you earn 5,000 every month, all right? And let's say that your monthly expenses is say around $3,900 every month, right? That's about the average, expenses, right? So 3,900 every month is your monthly expenses. And that's what the formula looks like. So first thing first, let's talk about what is the 50, 30, 20. All right. What the formula says is that 50% of your income, right, should cover your total monthly bills. All right? That's what the formula says. The formula is pretty much saying 50% of your income should cover your total amount of bills. Why? Well, it's because we should be living within our means. So if we live within our means, then we won't have to worry about overspending and all those different things. So once again, remember that 50% of your income should cover your total monthly expenses. And that will help you to not overspend. Now, it also says that 30% of your income is what you should spend, right? Is what you should spend. 30% of your income is what you should spend, and you should not spend over this. And then also when it comes down to the 20, it says the minimum you should be saving is 20%, right? The minimum you should be saving is 20%. So in this moment, what I also want to emphasize is that you must know the difference between your needs, right? And then you got to also identify your want, right? And then you must know what the must. Okay? So once you understand these two things, you must understand the need, the wants, and the must. What is your needs? You need to take care of your monthly expenses, your bills. What is your wants? You want to spend some money, right? What is the must? You must save. All right? You must be saving. So once you understand the 50, 30, 20 concept, then it's easier for us to break it down. So let's break it down some more. The concept say you're going to always take your net pay, okay, either your net pay or your income. All right, you're always going to take your net pay or your income, and you're going to always multiply it by the percentage. All right, and the equal represent the dollar amount for each one. So when you want to know how much money you have to pay your bills, you're always going to multiply by 0.50. For your spending, 0.30. For the savings, 0.20. And I'm going to break this down and show you what that means now. So as you can see, the example, your income for this example is $5,000. The monthly expenses, $3,900. All right. Now let's break it down. What I normally do is that I draw 4 boxes. I'm gonna show you. Budgeting is so easy, guys. All you gotta do is draw 4 boxes, just like this. Draw 4 boxes. And once you draw these 4 boxes, I'm gonna show you how simple budgeting becomes, and it won't be complicated anymore. So first thing you gotta do is label the box. This box is known as your bills box. All right. This box is your spending box. And this box is your savings box. And then this box is the result. All right. The results box. Now you got the 4 boxes drawn. Now let's break it down. And when you look at your bills box, remember, we're going to take your net pay or income. So we're going to take that 5,000, right? And then we're going to multiply it by whichever represents the bills, right? Which is 0.50. So we're going to take 0.50, multiply that. Well, we pull out our handy dandy calculator, take 5,000, multiply by 0.50. That gives you $2,500. Right there, you got $2,500. What's the first thing we realize in this scenario? This $2,500 cannot take care of this monthly expenses. And guess what? In most scenario, 50% of your income probably can't take care of all your monthly expenses. That's perfectly normal. You know, here's something you must know. Only 5%, anywhere from 5% of the population can take care of their monthly expenses. 95% or even more, 95% of the population can't, right? They can't. And that's why 95% of the population need to be living on a budget, all right? So we're going to break this down some more, all right? Let's go back into the spending box now. Once again, you're going to take your net pay or income. So we'll come back again, $5,000, because that's the income in the example here. Multiply by what? 0.30. That's for the 30%. So we're going to multiply by 0.30. Come back again, pull out our handy dandy calculator. 5,000 times 0.30. That gives us $1,500. Now we have $1,500. Okay? Come back down in the savings box. We're going to do the same thing. Income, in this example, $5,000 multiplied by 0.20, right? Equals, pull out our calculator, $5,000 multiplied by 0.20. That gives us 1,000. So now we have all the money on the table. That's the goal. The goal is to have all the money on the table so you know what everything is, how does it look, why it looks the way it does. The first thing I always say is this. Where should you take the money from? Where should you initially take the money from? Should you take the money from your spending, or should you take it from your savings to pay the debt, to pay your monthly expenses, right? The first place you should take that money from is obviously the spending. So what I normally do, I encourage all my students, let's eliminate this. And furthermore, if you know your FIN number, and you mean like you truly know your FIN number, there's no way you should be spending $1,500 or be in a position where you're spending and not knowing how much to spend. Because budgeting is knowing 2 things, guys. Number 1, budgeting is knowing how much you can save. And number 2, budgeting is knowing how much you should spend. All right? So until you know how much you should spend, 30% of you spending, if you're spending 30% of your income, that is no good. You should not be spending 30% of your income, because if you know that 30% of your income is being spent and you don't know your FIN number, obviously you don't understand the real problem in itself. So spending 30% of your income, even if you could in the 50-30-20 budgeting formula, you shouldn't, because you should be saving more and spending less if you know your FIN number. Now let's break this down some more. Now we're going to take away the $1,500 from the spending box. That brings it down to 0. What we're going to do is then apply this $1,500 that we eliminated from the spending box and bring it over to the bills box, right? Now we have some money in the bills box. Now we have an extra what? $2,500 plus $1,500. Well, right there. Boom, boom. You see, you just do simple math. You got $4,000, right? But what is your monthly expenses? Let's try to pay the bills now. In this example, your monthly expenses is $3,900. Then we're going to apply this $3,900 over here. That leaves you back $3,900 from $4,000. You have an extra $100. Okay? Now, when you have any extra money in your bills box, this is the money that you want to bring down into your savings. So you're going to bring this bad boy down to the savings box, and now you're going to apply that extra $100. Now your new 20% in your savings box, it comes out to being $1,100. All right? That's your 20. All right? Now here's the biggest issue that most people ask me. Keyon, am I supposed to be working just to save money and have nothing to spend and nothing to enjoy? Absolutely not. That is not what I'm pushing. That's not the narrative I want you to believe. I don't believe that you should be eating bread and butter, peanut butter, whatever ever. I say is, instead of eating steak every day of the week, you could cut back and eat steak at least once a week, not every day of the week. So that way you don't spend all your hard-earned money on food or whatever else, right? You don't need 20 pair of sneakers, but can you treat yourself to a pair of sneakers probably every 3 months? Absolutely. What I'm saying is that you got to do things on a budget, because once again, if you know how much you can save, you know how much you can spend, that will put you in a position to be in control of your money versus your money controlling you. Now, let's break it back down. Now I'm going to introduce to you something called the half rule. Okay? This is called the half rule. This is where we're going to break down everything into halves, right? So if this is 20, if 20 equals $1,100, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just breaking down the 20 into halves. I'm breaking it down into 10, then I'm breaking it down into 5, and then I'm breaking it down to 5. I'm going to explain what each of these represent. What this half rule means. Now, the half rule comes down to breaking down this. So if 20 equals 1,100, let's just do some quick division. We're just going to multiply by 2. So it's be 1,100 divided by 2. So we can know the half. Pull out our handy dandy calculator. 1,100 divided by 2. That gives us $550. $550 is what we receive. Now we know what the 10 is, because half of 10 is half of 20 is 10. Okay, that's why you got the 5 here. The other 10, that gives you 20. So this $550 that I just found right here, now you can use that to invest. All right, you can use that to invest or to save. Now you know how much you should invest and how much you should save to create a stronger financial foundation. Now, the other part of this is that you got to look and see, all right, if 10 is 550, what is half of 10? 5. So to find out what 5 is, you're just going to take $550 and divide it by 2. By doing that, divided by 2, that tells you that's $275. This $275 is now used for emergency funds. All right? You now have money to put aside for emergency funds. Why you need money for emergency funds? Because you need to have at least 3 times. You want to have at least 3 times your monthly income. So if your income was $5,000 like this example, you need to have 3 times 5,000, which is $15,000 saved up in an account. Now that account, I personally would tell you, have that savings, that emergency funds in a high yield savings account. So that way that money can be compounded and growing faster. But there's different avenues. But on an average, don't just have it in a checking and savings account. Look into a high yield savings account. Okay? So if 5 up here was 550 divided by 2, that equals 275. It's the same thing down here. Now for this 275, we're going to break that down, and this is what's known as your spending. All right, this is your spending, or you can apply that money towards debt. Okay, so now you know how much you should be spending. Now you know how much you should be saving, and now you know where and what you should be doing. Now, once you figure this all out, it gets simpler after this, because now you know what you should save and what you can spend. But watch this breakdown now. This is how your budgeting goes from 0 to 100 real quick, and things get really simple. You got to ask yourself, why do you go to work every day? Why do you go to work every day? Why do you work as hard as you do? you must have a reason why. And if you don't know why, I'm about to show you why. Let's talk about why do you work so hard, right? Why are you making all this sacrifice? I'm about to help somebody today. Here's the things that you got to break it down. Let's say that this person get paid once a week, right? 4 times a month, once a week. Some months 5, but just on an average, 4 times a month, okay? 1 a week. Now, let's break it down. How many of you ever get paid? And let's say that you have an income, right? Let's say that your income is $5,000 every month. Well, divide that by 4. That tells you that your income now, pull out your handy dandy calculator, 5,000 divided by 4. That means you're getting paid about $1,250, right? $1,250. That's what you're getting paid every week. All right. So when you figure out how much is your income every week, and you must ask yourself, what do I do with my paycheck? When I get my paycheck, what must I do? Let's break it down. How do you put the money to the side? So now let's look at the bills. If your monthly bills is $3,900, once again, just go to divide it by 4. So that way you know how much money I should be taking out of my paycheck to put to the side for my bills. Take $3,900, divide it by 4. That means every time a pay cycle come around, you're putting aside $975 every week out of your paycheck just to cover all your monthly expenses. Then same thing come down. Now you figure out how much you should be investing and saving, how much you should be putting in your emergency fund, how much you should be spending or put towards debt. Let's break that down. Now, when it comes to the invest, for this example, if this said you're supposed to invest $550 or save that, right? Divided by 4. Because now you learned what the number is. So you take 550 divided by 4. That tells you that every time you get paid, you're supposed to put aside $137.50 every week. Now you're looking at your paycheck and you know how to put your money to the side. You know how much you should put to the side. Then let's look at how much you should put towards your emergency fund, right? The E-funds. If your E-fund said $275 in this example, divided by 4. Once you figure it out, now you just divided it by 4. Or if you get paid bi-weekly, divide it by 2. But for this example, $275 is going to be divided by 4. And this means that every time they get paid, they're going to put $68.75 away every week. All right. Now for the spending. If the spending is $275, okay, $275 divided by 4, that means every week you should realistically be spending $68.75 every week, right? That's what your budget should look like. These are the things you need to know. You need to know how much of my check when I get paid am I supposed to put to the side. So for this example, from you figured out your income all the way down to your bills, invest, emergency funds, spending, you now have a clearer picture of how to go about taking care of these things. That's the reason why when you understand budget on this level, it takes it to a whole nother level, guys. And I just want to share this with you guys that budgeting is not complicated. This is something that I teach. This is something that I show you. I structure this with you, and we go over it weekly with you. We do a weekly checkup on your budget and see how things are going and break down some of the reasons why you go to work. If you even want to know, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to know how much money to be making to be on track to take care of your monthly expenses, all you simply have to do is once you figure out the weekly, divide it by 7. That's going to tell you how much money you need to make every day in your business to hit your goals of making $5,000 so you can take care of your monthly expenses, put away some money for savings, create an emergency fund, and still have some money to spend and enjoy yourself. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and give you that breakdown. And I want you just to like and share this knowledge because everybody deserves to learn the fundamentals of how to master their money. And I wanted to share that with you, 50, 30, 20, broken down using the half rule. And guys, I hope this helped you. My name is Coach Keyon Corniffe, also known as Mr. Finance, your favorite financial educator and business coach. And you're one decision away from changing your future for the better. So always remember that the choice is always yours. If you ever need any information, just text help. All right, text the word help to 321-312-0130. Once again, text the word help to 321-312-0130, and I'll be more than happy to help you and show you how to continue winning the money game. And all you have to pay is attention. All right, I'm gonna say this again. All you have to pay is attention. We're gonna help you. All of our services and all of our coaching is a 100% compliment, and we're gonna help you to win the money game. I see you at the top. Have a good day.